You know, in the last video, I spent a lot of time talking with you about how I'm on this pursuit for really big wahoo here off the Florida Keys. And it's really sparked up some great conversations. You know, I was talking about rigging these outfits with feathers to go catch bonitas. And, you know, some of the feedback, some of the comments, I want to just kind of mention, yes, we also have rods rigged with planers to catch bonitas. We jig the little bullet bonitas. We use the sabikis, you know, and smaller squid skirts, you know. But I was pointing out that on the troll, being able to fish a full pattern of 7 or 8 lines with small feathers, again, that's just a great way and another way to catch them. But either way, look, you caught the bonitas, right? What's the next step? Here I am. I go out, I catch my bullet bonitas. I know that they're going to die in my bait well, no matter what I do, okay, regardless of how big of a bait pen. Yes, blue runners, goggle eye, speedos typically will live. Even some of the biggest blue runners. I mean, those things, you just can't kill them, right? But the bonitas will not. Even in these 55-gallon oval wells, they're not going to live. So I knew I had to rig the boat with some kind of tuna tubes. I thought about this. I'm like, well, look, there are tuna tubes that mount right to the transom from the outside. There's all sorts of different options out there. And I thought to myself, what's the right option for me, you know, based on how I fish, where I fish? Do I want a permanent fixture on the boat of tuna tubes? You know, a lot of different scenarios. And I thought about them all. And I kind of narrowed it down to 2 different options that I wanted to share. You know, 2 different things, you know, and I'm going to explain to you why I chose these. The bucket tube right here. This thing, I saw this, I'm like, this is a great invention. This really is a great product. This is from R&R Tackle, and let me tell you something. I know Ray. Those guys are legit. There is perhaps nobody in the South Florida fishing industry as influential as Ray. You know, his tackle company, his charter business, his tournament experience, you know, the guy's a legend. So anything that they put out right out of the gate, you know, is real deal. And that's no different with these bucket tubes. What is it? Basically, it's a tuna tube. And remember, when I say tuna tube, we've got to have some type of tube system where we could take our bullet bonita and insert them vertically with water pumping through their mouth over their gills. That's how they live. They exert all of that oxygen out of the water. Okay, it's called a ram ventilator. So they have to be moving. There has to be water rushing over their gills nonstop. And that's what a tuna tube type system enables you to do, to just feed all of that water in there. So bucket. First of all, it's portable. It's in a Yeti bucket, right? Pretty cool. I thought, okay, this is nice. The fit and finish is nice. You know, they're pretty deep. Look at that. And down here where my hand is, it's formed to contour around that bonita's mouth. So minimal damage to the bait fish. There's 1-inch inlet right there. And you can run that off your saltwater washdown, but I wouldn't recommend it. It needs a live well pump. You know, you got to pump some water through here. Saltwater washdown pump, I looked at mine. It's like 3.8 gallons per minute. And when I did the math, I'm like, that's nowhere near enough water going over 4 baits. So you really got to do a little bit of plumbing, not a big deal. You can plumb a line with a T right off of a bait well pump and put a fitting on the deck. Every boat is different. Access to your plumbing is different on every boat. I don't know, but you could find a solution is what I'm saying. And it's portable. So if your buddy has the same solution on his boat, you can take this bucket tube and fish with him on his boat and fish live baits, live bonitas, or you can put it away when you don't need it. So I thought there would be a lot of versatility to something like this. Then of course it has the outflow. So water fills up these tubes, it overflows into the top of this. There are holes in the top. Okay, everything's fit and finished perfectly. And of course, once the bucket fills up, it drains. So you've got to figure out your intake and your outtake. But short of that, great solution. Retails for about 750 bucks. My dogs are flipping out. You guys know I have 3 dogs, and one of them, Tyson, the little guy, what a pain in the butt. Anyhow, but I love him to death. So the fit and finish is amazing. You know, like I said, the water runs right through it. You've got your outflow right there. I think it's a great solution. 750 bucks. I think, I don't want to say I think, I know that's the ballpark that's in that range. And I think if you're just catching bonitas right there and you want to fish them right there, that's a great option, right? If you've got a long run, I don't know how they're gonna do in here. You know, I haven't tested it enough at all yet. I just got these. I wanted to share it with you. So I haven't tested it at all. So, you know, down the line, you're going to see how well the baits live in here and how well they don't live in here. Now, thinking about that, I also came up with another option, okay? More of a fixed option, and this is really neat too. This is a, well, like a triple tube tuna tube system from Naughty Rooster Fishing. And I want to kind of explain to you what this is here, because it may look a little odd right at first. So I'm going to kind of walk you through it, okay? These look like they're 3D printed. So some sort of tubular shape, 3D printed. Inside there, there's this big rubber contoured, I'm going to say rubber, but I don't know what that material is. I don't want to misrepresent it, but it feels like it's rubber. Contoured, again, around the shape of that bait fish. So minimal damage to your bait. There's like a, you know what? Let me show you. Look inside there. Take a good look right inside there. You see that screen, that white screen in there? Okay, hopefully you could see that. I don't know how well this is working, but that's like a diffuser. Also appears to be 3D printed, so clearly these guys have some neat technology. Fits in there. At the bottom of the tube, each tube has its own 1,100 gallon per hour pump. All wired together right across the back. Nice connections, all wired together with 2 SeaHunter mounts and a power cord. And at the end of the power cord, you have your choice of plug. In my case, one of these 30 amp Hubble plugs that go right into my electric fishing outlets for my deep drop reels. Now this just mounts using the SeaHunters just like that. It literally sits inside your existing bait well, and it's sucking the water out of your bait well up past the fish. And with all of these holes, it's all recirculating the water back into the tank, so it doesn't need its own water source. It's a modular system. There's holes drilled all around these, and you can see they're connected. So I went with a 3-tube system, but I've seen them 7 tubes, 1 tube, okay? A couple things I like about this. One, it's a little bit bigger. It's like a 5-inch tube, so you could fit 2 baits in there. So even though if it's a 3-tube system, I'm confident that I can keep 6 baits alive. Because of the pumps, I don't have to do any plumbing, okay? I don't have to run any plumbing, any lines. When I ordered this, I determined the length of my cable. I measured right from the tank all the way up to the actual plug with a little bit of room to spare. So it's almost like a custom system. And if I want to add to it, all I got to do with these holes is just add more tubes. So again, a more fixed system, 15-inch tubes sit perfectly inside the live well aboard the SeaHunter, right inside there. They also make that in a 17, or I think 17 and a half, so it's just a little bit longer, but of course it wouldn't fit in here. So for me, the 15 was perfect. What are the advantages and disadvantages? Well, it costs more. I don't know, somewhere around 1,000, 1,100 bucks, okay, for that right there. But fully tricked out with the SeaHunters, with the power cable, you know, what you're looking at, versus having the ability, of course, you could purchase the independent items, well, independently, and I'm sure it'll be more affordable. Also portable because of the SeaHunters, but doesn't need to be plumbed in any way. I could put 2 baits in each one of these, and I feel like this would be a better, longer term option. I don't want to say better. That's not the, I don't want to say that. I'm not downgrading the bucket. I love the bucket. I think it's a great concept. Permanent. Maybe that's what I should say, right? That the bucket tube from R&R Tackle is a portable bucket tube that's incredibly versatile, portable, great entry into the tuna tube market for guys that are want to just kind of get their feet wet with fishing these big baits. Look, big baits equal big fish. That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. You know, come on, ask any tournament guy, you know, kingfisherman, wahoo fisherman, you know, fresh baits, the best baits catch the best fish. So anything that you can do or that I can do to keep my baits in the best shape possible, I'm going to do it. I like this. I really do. I like this. I really do. So I'm going to use them both on and off in different scenarios, see what makes more sense where. I'm going to share it all with you down the line, but I think it's pretty cool. This is like really innovative. Right in there, like I said, sea suckers, sturdy, plugs right in. Super, super idea. Very versatile, very portable. Very easy to plumb. Everything you need is contained right here. No power. You don't need any electrical, and you don't need any pumps because you're obviously using a third-party water source or whatever it may be. So I don't know. I don't know what's right for you. You know what? Let me know what you think. Honestly, tell me. Share it with me in the comments. You know, what do you think is the better idea? And why? And what would you outfit your boat with? Would it be the Naughty Rooster Tuna Tubes, these custom, you know, cobalt blue with the individual pumps, with the long cord, or is it the R&R Tackle Bucket Tube? For me, I know time's going to tell, because the only way to really know is to use them, right? I mean, let's be honest with each other. Bottom line, how well is that going to work? Is it going to keep my baits alive if I'm running 20 miles in a 3 to 5 foot chop? Not that I want to be out there doing that in those conditions, chasing wahoo, but I'm just painting every picture because every scenario is different. You know, every day out there is different. We all know that, right? And I don't want to spend this kind of money and count on a product that's not going to do what I need it to do. So it'll be interesting to see how all of this works out. So stick around. Looks like this upcoming week, we're going to have finally a break in the weather, and it's going to get much, much nicer come early this upcoming week. Today, we've got beautiful bluebird skies, but chilly. I would say 20 to 25 right now. So certainly not a pretty sight offshore. And I've never had success catching wahoo in rough conditions. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like everything is just inconsistent. You know, you're not getting that really consistent presentation. I mean, do you catch them in rough weather? Yes, but not as often, you know, I don't know. So, I don't know, we'll see. But I'm after the big one. I told you guys that. You know what, I've caught a lot here, a lot. But man, I really want to catch one of these giants. And, you know, I know, look, this isn't Louisiana. It's not Northeast Florida. It's not Cat Island. It's not these areas where these really big fish seem to be really prevalent. You know, a lot of big fish every season. Here, I might hear of, I don't know, but just a handful of fish over 80 pounds. But some are caught. Some are. And I'm going to get mine. Oh, I'm coming for you. I'm coming.